Buenos dias. All right, I'm back at it, as promised. Well, in my, that nonsense social media world of promoting stuff that we do and stuff like that. But yeah, back at it. Out here the back with the guitars and the amps. So the last time we were talking about, okay, let me ease into this a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like I'm not in any rush. I hope you're not in any rush because these videos usually tend to go for too long. But been pretty having a pretty good go at it lately. Had a really wonderful weekend with some friends in Javier, celebrating someone's birthday, and then jumped on a bus quickly to go and see my dear brother Isidro present his new album in Valencia at 16 Tones. It was a great night. Went to some good bars afterwards and stuff like that. Isidro's band are really great. I really love the record. It's really great. I'm really happy for him. It's doing really, for me, it's really innovative, and it might be something that Spanish people have heard all along, but for a long time or something like that. But for me, it's really fresh and really interesting, and he seems pretty happy doing it, and well, it shows in the music. The music's really great, so I'm very happy for him. That was a good night with friends in Valencia, and like I said, nice day having lunch for someone's birthday in Altea. Yeah, me and Mayra have been trucking along pretty good. So let's get to the business, yeah? Well, also today in Denio it's kind of shit, the weather. I was going to go swimming, but it's kind of shit out there, so I decided to stay at home and, work. This is work. Do work, yeah. So the last time I was on here, Gasbagging, I was talking about the idea of sort of running through a bunch of the songs that were recorded for the new album in Philadelphia, with the great band from Philadelphia, St. James and the Apostles. And we spoke about the instrumental song, Make Hay While the Sun Shines. So today I thought I'd talk about this as a song that took the long way coming back, and I started this. Well, I didn't know I was starting a song. I had a melody for what I thought might have been a bridge or a guitar part, but I really didn't know what it was, and I had this part for a fair amount of time, like a year or so. I had this idea, and the idea was kind of that was the idea. Well, that's what the idea turned into. It may have been different because I think I was noodling around with it on the acoustic guitar. And like I said, I wasn't sure if it was a bridge or a guitar melody line. I wasn't even sure if those notes that I was playing was actually the vocal melody for a song. I really had no idea. I just had this part that sat with me for a long time, and I kind of didn't do too much more to it than, make sure I had the notes in the correct spot and the chord structure underneath it worked. I don't really write songs that way, or I don't remember writing a song the way this one came about. So I had that part, and it stayed with me for a long time. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a bridge. So if it's a bridge, then where's the chords or the structure of the song for the verses and the intro and the breakdown or the guitar solo or whatever it was going to happen, I was writing the song in reverse, because usually I would come up with a guitar or a melody line or a vocal or something like that, and I would build the song around that to actually start with what eventually became a guitar solo. Like I said at the beginning, I thought it could have been a bridge, but it may still be a bridge. I'm not sure if it's a solo or not, but it's a part, right? And it wasn't the way I would usually write. So it stuck with me long enough that I thought, well, there must be something to it, so I need to finish it, or at least build something around it to get it to make sense. Kind of also thought that it started out a little bit more folky, like you can hear, I mean, if anyone's familiar with those notes, you can hear where I'm kind of pinching the idea from, you know what I mean? Once it's all put together with drums and bass and stuff like that and played with a certain kind of expression, it probably veers far enough away from that you don't hear it as much. But when I'm sitting here playing it alone or acoustically, it sounds like something, it sounds like it comes from Mr. Tambourine Man or what is it, Norwegian Wood or something like that, you know what I mean? It's got those little notes coming off the D chord. Anyway, I'm getting all guitar nerd and technical here, but music lovers will understand what I mean. So to build parts around it, I had the key that I think it sounded best in, so I just had to find the chord. So those chords eventually became the verse. And they're chords that are familiar with me, that I've used before in Brother Graham Says and Cowboys and Indians, and you know what I mean? Like, I think that those chords, well, at least, I'm not necessarily the greatest singer in the world, so I sort of got to play to my strengths, and I know I can sing over the top of those chords reasonably well. So plus those chords are the chords for one of the great songs ever, Galveston, written by Jimmy Webb but sung by Glenn Campbell, so you can't go wrong with that. Try a Little Kindness, similar chords as well, great songs. I think I've got my grandmother to thank for embedding those great songs into my subconscious on long trips from Sydney to Forbes in the car at Christmas time. She would always play those kind of songs. I kind of thought that I wanted the chorus. Usually when writing choruses are meant to sort of, theoretically or generally the chorus is the lift in the song, whereas I heard the chorus in this to be the part that sort of comes down as opposed to lifting up. So I was working towards trying to make something happen like that. So I knew I'd be singing something quite expressive and high there. Sometimes I feel free that I can't hide, running wild and I'm running blind. So I wanted the chorus to kind of dip down and be sort of more sunken, as opposed to choruses always being the bright part of the song or the sing-along part of the song, for lack of a better description. So I found these chords to go. So you put the parts together and you work it with a band, and it comes out, you know, a little bit like this. Yeah. Starry eyes, I see you and I feel high, long and high, may we fly. The love can be strange, like a cold December day, summertime in a great southern land. And with time we can be where we belong, if we so love. So, once together with the band, I mean, the way that we recorded things the way I recorded things with Jeff and Mike and Jamie, and Jill would come in and do some backing vocals. But me and Jeff would sort of sit with the idea in the control room for not very long, like 5-10 minutes, and I'd sort of run through it acoustically, you know what I mean, and sort of give him a sort of rough description of how I wanted the feel to be. He'd go in there with the drums and we'd start recording. I'd record a guide guitar to the drum track, or a guitar sound that we thought that if we liked the take enough, we would keep it as some sort of rhythm track or something like that. But the guitar wasn't important. It was important to get the feel right on the drums. And as much as this record sort of took a long time to make due to circumstances that me or Jamie or anyone had any control over, just things happened. The actual recording side of it, what people will hear if they buy the record, that process wasn't very long at all. Like, honestly, each song was first or second take. We would spend, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes talking about it in the control room. Jeff or Mike would go into the recording room, and I'd stay in the control room where we had visual contact, and we'd just work out a tempo, a groove, and then we'd start trying to make takes of the song. And there's a bunch of them that are first take, and there's not one of them that's more than 2 or 3 takes, you know what I mean, where we thought that's the take there, that's good. They're not songs that rely heavily on total precision and total structure, and that it's more about a feel and a groove, you know what I mean, to put you emotionally where the song is. It doesn't need to, well, none of my music needs to be perfect. Some of it needs to be more precise some of the time, but most of the time I'm more concerned about how it might make your ass move, or how, you know what I mean, like it's just got to feel right, have the right groove, and be in touch with the lyric, and then I'm good to go with it. So yeah, that's kind of where that song was at. If we sow, love will grow. Yeah, it's a good one, I reckon. I later, after we finished the main guts of the song, I had the idea of a different outro that we actually, I think I went, I was staying with Jamie, the guy who owns the studio, and I went home that night and I was sleeping and I was thinking maybe the song needs an outro, and I didn't have a guitar where I was staying, but everything was in the studio, but I sort of nearly had it in my head and I got into the studio the next day, picked up the guitar and just found the outro really fast, and as soon as Jeff came in I said, I just want you to play this part. We'll super glue it onto the song, you know what I mean? Like I could hear the tempo, I got the tempo of the other song, and then we just made an outro, a 2-minute outro or something like that, which was just with a guitar solo over the top of it. So there's the guitar solo. The guitar solo is in the outro. So that means that melody line that I'm talking about that I didn't know whether it was a bridge or a guitar solo is actually the bridge. Or the first guitar solo and the outro is the second guitar solo. You take your pick. Anyway, I've probably gone on too long. But I'm going to be vigilant and try to do my work and make these videos to help promote the record, so that the labels in Australia and the labels that are in Europe that are working with me to put the record out, we can help it sell it and make everyone happy. Yeah, I hope that the album makes people happy or makes them feel something, or they get something out of it. I really dig it. It's really, really good record, I think. And I'm not standing on any soapbox or, you know what I mean, stroking myself or ego or whatever, however you want to put it. I'm just, if I wasn't happy with something, then it wouldn't come out. So if I didn't think it was worth something or it made me feel a certain way, and it's something that I was proud of and proud of the people that played on it, then it wouldn't come out. But yeah, I guess the next video I should talk more about the people on the record or the process or what they did that was special on it, instead of just well, I'll work it out anyway. But there's people that were involved that made it work, that it probably wouldn't have worked without them, or it would have sounded much different if they weren't involved. So really happy to be working with some good people in Australia this time, so that people that might want to buy the record in Australia and New Zealand don't have to pay the outrageous postage that has come with me living in Spain and my records being put out mainly over this side. But yeah, it's all heading in the right direction. I hope you're well, and I'll see you around the tracks, as they say. Be good, be kind, be patient, show love, I guess, when you can. Adios.